Singh for his birdie after the disappointing pitch. Settles for a 5. He knew the contours on the green. The pitch shot, he expected one skip forwards would have been all it needed for his pitch shot to go within a few feet of the cup. So this to stay at 2 under par. 3 back of Mike Weir, 2 behind Len Matisse after his fantastic birdie at 10. And VJ just even par today. Back on the tee. Jeff Maggott, who had been stressing his short game practice coming into the Masters. And it certainly paid off yesterday. Brilliant putting. And no thought of going for the green in 2 for him. And let's have a look from above. Yellow Jasmine, a hole that was lengthened. The tee was moved to the right to change the angle. Players encouraged to hit down the left-hand side and then go to foiled VJ Singh and Phil Mickelson today. Second easiest hole, no eagles. Let's go to the 9th.
This is the 3rd shot for Jose Maria. They're driving into trouble here.
Was in the trees off the tee. Now from the 2nd cut.
There is one in there rather snug, and you can only guess. All pars for Olazabal. Tiger would have taken that had he known. But just a moment ago, his 2nd here.
105 yards from the right center of the fairway. Perfect position.
Over his last 6 holes, but poised to get one back.
Just when you think Tiger's having a down day, he fights back.
Over to 11.
And Rich Beam with a wild swinger for birdie. Just a moment ago. And Beam competing in his first Masters. Been among the leaders all week in greens and regulation. And now Beam for par. Well done. Par beats the field at 11 to 8.
Jeff Maggott has already laid up with his 2nd shot at the par 5 8th. Mike Weir giving that a good thump. But going to the left is a bad move. 269 yards. He has that awkward mound to come over from where Len Matisse made a miracle birdie. So a surprising play. Masters champions over the last few years. Weir is 8 under par for the par 5s. Players not doing very well on the par 5s. The extra rain causing them problems. Tiger Woods 16 under par in 2001, 9 under on the par 5s. Tiger 13 under for his first win in '97. 8 under for Mike Weir. And playing the par 3s at even par. That's always a challenge here at Augusta National. Dangerous 12th, dangerous 16th. To the 9th tee.
VJ on the tee. In a 4th place tie at the moment with Toms and Furyk and Mickelson.
That's well done. Keeps it in the 1st cut. Well, ooh, 2nd cut. Not good now. And the 2nd cut is long. Jim hasn't been cut all week.
11.
And Matisse, his 2nd. Good looking move. And a well played iron shot from Matisse from 190 yards below the hole.
Bobby, Jim McLean, Lynn's swing coach, said he was really pleased with the way Lynn was swinging this week, and now he's got to judge 11 and 12 with the wind starting to pick up.
Let's go to 10.
Now let's see how Mickelson begins his second 9. He'll like that. Back over here at 9. Needs this putt to break 40 on the side. No one could have seen that coming. But with this great champion, we're not ruling anyone out.
No 30 on the backside would give him cause to wonder, Jim.
That is the number, I'm sure, that's going through his mind right now. Earlier at the 10th, Jim Furyk fired away.
180 yards. Again, the pin in the back left.
Needs a break. No, it's not too far off.
That's actually a very nice play. Very makeable from there.
All right, over to 8.
Jeff Maggott had 275 for his second shot. Played a 210-yard shot here and beautifully positioned for the pitch. That's the way to play the hole if you can't reach it in 2. And a chance for a birdie. And a continued recovery from that triple at the 3rd. Just 4 under par on the par 5s for him this week. Steady all-around play, as we've seen over the years from Jeff Maggott. To the 12th.
Rich Beam, 8-iron. 162 yards. Flag cut in its traditional Sunday back right. And all over it for Rich Beam, one of the best of the day.
Bobby, didn't anybody tell him you don't go with that pin on Sunday?
That's his first Masters, Lanny. But he's trailing by 4, so time to go. Back to 8.
And a big mistake by Mike Weir. See the top of the flagstick just over the mounds. Well, he was playing safe and he sclaffed it. So no easy 4th shot for Mike Weir. Len Matisse managed to hold it. But a big mistake on the second shot. Lots of room over to the right to set up the pitch, at which he is so good. Greens in regulation. 3 out of 8 today. Not very good. To the 10.
And Jim Furyk, this was earlier.
Up the hill, one he could have taken a run at, just didn't hit it. A little bit of mud on the ball might have affected it.
And now live with Mickelson.
This putt's got to move about a foot from his right to his left.
Tough putt.
Yes, it is. It's just tough to judge the speed back in the shadows, Jim. Very difficult green to read. I always thought that was one thing that made the second 9 green so difficult Sunday afternoon, was how many shadows you put in on the back on the second 9.
If there is a sudden death playoff, it'll begin right here at 10. Maybe Mickelson will see it again, or some other fabulous combination, as we've got so many of the stars here battling as we head to 8.
So Mike Weir, after a poor second and a poor third from the much thicker second cut than we've seen over the years at Augusta National, now his 4th shot. Choosing to loft it over that ridge, and that is beautifully played. That's what he should have been doing with his 3rd shot, not his 4th. Chance to save par. And Mike Weir not easily ruffled. Determined competitor. And the putting stroke has looked very smooth. Let's go to 9.
David Toms
176 from just in the second cut up the right side of the fairway. Needs to hang right there. Still a very difficult play.
To 11.
And Len Matisse, similar line to what Rich Beam had a moment ago. For birdie, had the line, but again, the pace so difficult to judge. Matisse, whose dad Louis started him playing golf when he was 6 years old, but he was left-handed. Dad switched him to right-handed. Let's go to 9.
VJ.
126 up the hill. That same long, difficult putt Phil Mickelson had. Big, huge break, a lot of speed.
To 8.
And Jeff Maggott, chance for a birdie. To be just 1 over for the day, including a triple bogey. Coming up the hill. And a little right to left. Couldn't believe it didn't break a little more. Settles for a par. Two over for the round. To 12.
And Rich Beam for birdie. Well struck putt. Jack Nicklaus called the 12th the hardest tournament hole in golf. Matisse did make his par back at 11. Beam will record a par at the 12th, but a missed golden opportunity. We go back to 8.
And Mike Weir trying to protect his one-shot lead over Matisse. This for a par. Little uphill. Very easy putt. And a beautiful fourth shot to escape with a par. Stays alone at the top.
And over at 15, Ricky Barnes, the leading amateur. That was to get back to 1 over par for the week, and what a week it's been. Seen every emotion possible from this young man. Looks almost certain to finish leading amateur, and boy, he's a superstar of the future. Ricky Barnes at +2, Hunter Mahan +6, Ryan Moore +13. A great achievement for all 3 of these young men just to make the cut this week. Look at that. No hat. You can see everything about Ricky Barnes. Face like a naughty angel.
Earlier at 9. It's Tom's. And over to 12.
Where the winds are calm at the moment. Matisse with an 8-iron. Play here over the middle of the bunker, but he's taking an aggressive route. Oh, and it just carries the front edge. It's brilliant. That was only about 4 feet from disaster.
Bobby, he got away with a big mistake right there.
And he knows it, Lanny. It's been that kind of day for Lenny Matisse, a magical day. Starting with the birdies at 2 and 3, and then the pitch in from the most improbable place, left of number 8 for a birdie, and then the bomb at 10 for birdie. What a day for Lenny Matisse. Let's go to 9.
This was earlier. VJ just looking for a way to get down in 2.
Look how easy he hits this putt.
Back on the tee. The leader by 1.
Splits the center of the fairway. Not as far down as some we've seen, though.
is indeed looking very player-esque in the All Blacks. Player, the first international champion of this tournament back in 1961. Won 3 Green Jackets. Competed here this week. Maggart, got to give him a tremendous nod here for being able to hang in there after that calamity on the 3rd hole.
Well, he's really hung tough, Jim. I mean, he could have just washed the day away and hung his head and sulked and not enjoyed it, but he has fought back very tough.
Carolina.
9th hole, Carolina Cherry. Dog leg left, 460 yards down the hill. Need to drive it down the right center of the fairway to get a good look at this green. Playing from a downhill lie to a green that's well above your head. Usually all you can see is the top half of the flagstick. Very undulated, many difficult pins on this green.
Over to 16.
And here's the amateur, Ricky Barnes. Hole playing 183 today. Oh, boy. Well, he is experiencing all of Augusta National in his first Masters. So Ricky will go to the drop area. Mike Weir leads by 1 over Len Matisse. Jeff Maggart alone in 3rd. Mickelson, Singh, Toms, Furyk. And there's Rich Beam at -1.
The most successful amateur player in history, Bob Jones. It was Jones' wish that one day an amateur would win this tournament. Frank Stranahan threatened in '47, finishing 2nd. Billy Joe Patton was 3rd in 1954. And in 1956, an amateur from San Francisco, Ken Venturi, led going into the final round before finishing as the runner-up. Venturi holds the distinction of being the only amateur to lead the Masters through 54 holes. Charlie Coe finished a close 2nd in 1961 to Gary Player. And before Tiger Woods claimed the green jacket at age 21, he competed twice as an amateur. His best finish, 41st.
And Jim Furyk, second shot to the par 4, 180 yards. And again, the winds been very calm today. They've been out of the northwest for the most part. But when you get down around the green at 11 and 12, suddenly it can turn around and move 180 degrees in the opposite direction. Here, trying to draw it in somehow. It does catch the slope. Well played. It'll be an extremely difficult putt, however, coming down the slope. Big right to left swing. And Lenny Matisse at the par 3, 12th for birdie. Had the line, but not the speed. Oh. And now Mickelson from 154. Shot, he can be a little more aggressive, take the spin and draw it down the slope. But he's too aggressive. Now he's really faced with a tough putt. Let's take a look at the par 4. Pond well into play. Back to 10.
VJ ready to hammer away on his second 9.
And with driver, must turn this from right to left. Oh, that's really well done.
Didn't get much going on that first 9, but He's got the experience here, having won in 2000. He knows what it takes coming down these final holes. Although VJ would like to atone for 3 balls on the water last year on the second 9 Sunday. Again, they all, it seems, have demons somewhere on this golf course.
There are a lot of demons lurking on this golf course, Jim. Just ready to jump up and grab you if you make a mistake. And Mike Weir looking at 132 to the hole and really needs to carry this at least to the pin from here.
And that's one of the demons right here. If you come up short, it's coming back down to the near the crosswalk, that false front. Oh, skipped over the ridge. He's fine.
That's an excellent play right there. That's not a shot that really suits his eye very well, coming in from that side. Very gutsy play right there.
Earlier back there, Jeff Maggard.
176 to the hole for Jeff on the second cut.
Take a bounce.
Kept it up the right side. Not a bad play from where he was.
We saw David Toms there. The group ahead. He got down in 2 for par. ...12 years consecutive. The champion has played in the final pairing. Last to come out of another group, Nick Faldo, out of another pairing in 90, and he went on to win the playoff with Raymond. Well, we talked about player, the first international champion here. Highest finish ever by a Canadian in a major, George Knudsen, here at the Masters in '69. He tied for second with Billy Casper and Tom Weiskopf. One behind George Archer. Dave Barr second to North at the Open in '85 U.S. Open. Out to 11.
Straight down the hill for Phil Mickelson for birdie. Good 40 feet. Brilliant. The momentum that Mickelson picked up at the second, he's never given that up. I don't think tee to green has quite been on his game, but his short game is there, and he's been putting well to 13.
Where Rich Beam has 242 yards, ball above his feet, and he has elected to go for it.
Hawk.
Oh.
Hawk.
Not enough distance. Rich Beam perhaps trying to kickstart something in this back 9. Puts it in the hazard to 11.
Furyk for birdie with a big swinger. I really misread that. I was surprised at his alignment there. To 9.
Maggard up the hill.
Not a whole lot of movement in this putt. Jim just needs to get the speed right. If you're going to miss it, he left it in the right spot. Looking at a pretty straight putt straight up the hill from there.
Over 10, VJ.
170 to the hole. Flag VJ can get very aggressive with here.
I love that. I mean, you recall yesterday, he was in here close and missed from just about 3 feet. Group ahead. Ola Fabel.
Jose Maria has made a career of holding putts like that.
Meanwhile, over here at 9, Weir add a shot to that lead.
Probably the simplest putt on the screen. Not much movement. That went up the hill. Gave it a good effort.
.34 on his first 9 without a mistake on the card. Sure, some putts you'd like to have back, but you think of that par he made at the 5th.
There were some mistakes, but he got away with them. Made some wonderful saves.
This for par. I give this man so much credit. What would have been really for many just a shattering 7 at the 3rd. But he's only 2 behind as we head to 13.
Well, Rich Beam is in the hazard, but he is playable. And he fails to take advantage of his good fortune, and this time the ball rolls back into the water. No reason to get that cute with that shot at that point. He could have hit it 30 feet behind the hole, and it still would have funneled back toward the hole. Now, he did get it out of the hazard, so that Mark O'Meara is pointing to him where the last spot the ball crossed the hazard. He can keep that between him and the hole and go back as far as he wants, having to play over the water hazard again, or he can elect to go to the drop area, which it appears that he is going to do. Let's go to 10.
All right, Weir and Maggart. Last 2 to tee off on 10.
This is where you want to be, Jim. Leading the Masters, going to the second 9 on Sunday. What a place.
You guys think you're ready?
It was a second 9 struggle yesterday for Weir, and you said it too. Mike admitted it afterwards. Some tentative putts way in.
It was, and he has to move a lot of shots on this 9 holes right to left, which is not his normal shot. And by doing that off the tee, it almost looked like it took him out of the rhythm of his iron swing the rest of the 9. And so we need to see how solid and how well he plays his irons on this second 9.
He missed his only cut of the year last week at Atlanta, but he said, no problem. My game has never been better than it is right now. He's coming into the week.
You know, we've got some very accessible pins on this second 9 today, too, Jim. There are some places these guys can make some birdies. That's well done right there. Way left in the fairway. That's a big cut for Mike to get it that far left.
If you need to make a few birdies other than the par 5s, where do you see scoring opportunities?
On this 9 holes, I'm sitting here trying to think, because I'm going to tell you, this 9 has 5 of the most difficult par 4s you're going to find on 9 holes of golf. And Jeff Maggart has hung that well out to the right, caught the second cut, and he really has a difficult shot from there.
Today is ideal as you could ever ask. The Sunday at the Masters with all the big names battling. It has been a horrible struggle for Tiger and Maggart, who led, and Mickelson celebrated early, and Lynn Matisse holding shots from off the green, while Mike Weir has regained the form we saw both Friday and then Saturday morning. He is the leader with 9 to play. Well, Lanny, we were talking target scores early. You thought 6 would just about do it. And that's looking pretty good right now.
It's looking really good right now.
This was earlier at 10 VJ for birdie. Good putt.
Going along very businesslike, looks very composed and very much under control.
Over to 12.
Mickelson. Wind is actually coming his back now. That's an aggressive line. Oh, what a golf shot. A hole that has plagued him in the past. No hole has been more difficult for Mickelson than 12. And look at this. Career major victories, only Vijay Singh and David Toms with any on our leaderboard. Hard to imagine after what our leaderboards have looked like the past few years. Let's go to 13.
And the tee shot of Len Matisse. Starts it out well down the right side, trying to turn it on over. And he has done it, and that's out there a pretty good distance as well. Len Matisse looking very solid. Now Rich Beam, this his 5th shot from the drop area. This was earlier. The mistake that Rich Beam made was a mistake that you might expect from a rookie first-time participant. But he ended up making that putt for bogey. Let's go to 12.
Huge putt for Mickelson for birdie. Never a chance. So disappointing 3 after the brilliant tee shot. Fate of this whole tournament could ride on a gust of wind here at 12. Let's go back to 10.
.495 yards, par 4 with a drop of almost 100 feet.
From the tee to the green, and it looks like Jeff Maggart's about halfway down that drop. He still has a downhill shot. Gonna go over here with Mike Weir, looking his shot over. Pin in the back left. He's going to have to move this from his right to his left. Plenty of green to work with, though. .199 for Mike Weir. Just on the front of the green, looking at about 45 feet to the hole. Didn't seem like he caught that very solid. That's not his natural shot, going in there right to left.
This is the 2nd toughest hole of the day. And this won't be easy for Maggart either.
Maggart's looking at 186 out of the right cut. Does have a good line at the pin, though. I'd like to hit this just about 10 or 15 feet right of the hole.
Come back.
Did just that. Ended up getting left of the hole because of the slope in the green. Very holeable shot from there, Jim.
He has to be pleased. Weir than a fast finishing Len Matisse, who shot 69 yesterday, is 4 under for this final round. Then Singh and Maggart.
The First Tee has a goal of bringing golf and its values to more than 500,000 kids by 2005. And now, with more than 100 facilities all across the country, we're well on our way. Heads up.
Earlier at the 12th, Jim Furyk was left and long off the tee. This for par. So as so many before him, Furyk will make bogey 4. Back to 13.
Where Lenny Matisse has a 5-wood in his hand, 224 yards to the hole. Another good-looking swing, and it's right on line. Of the 20 people who have tried to go for this green today, that is only the second ball to reach the green, and that is easily the best of the day by Lenny Matisse. He has no more than 10 feet left to get to -6 and take the outright lead. Let's go to 12.
162 yards. Two-time champion Jose Maria Olazabal, an 8-iron. And another aggressive line just left of the flagstick. Well played. Remember when Olazabal in '99 came in here the final round, hit it in the back bunker, and made that up and in. One of the best bunker shots I've ever seen here. Now BJ, his second shot. And from 162 yards, and brilliant, best of the day. And BJ mounting a charge on the second 9 already, and back to 10.
Weir.
It's well judged from there, Jim. Very difficult to get the speed right on this green. Mike will take that 4 and be very pleased.
He had said this week one of the problems when you get in contention here, just getting too excited. You know, you're working in the off season or goofing around as a kid. It's the idea of winning the Masters that you play over and over in your imagination.
We've all done it, and we've done it for a long time. I'm still doing it.
And Maggard. Oh, look at this.
Like I said, very holdable from there straight up the hill. Well done by Jeff Maggard. Boy, this is some display of courage by Jeff Maggard.
Only one back.
It's a lot of fight and grit and determination. That's that putt right there, Jim.
A firm fist pump. But facially, the expression is about the same as it was when he got hit by the ball back on the 3rd hole. If you've tried to read a poker face, this is one of the all-time hard ones.
He could have bitten that ball in half on 3.
Weir for par. And his lead now remains at 1, but there's Matisse and Maggard dragging right behind. Boy, there's going to be some interesting happenings down at Amen Corner again this year. Who will make the mistake? Who will take advantage? Will there be some thrilling eagle? We've had a paucity of eagles this year at the Masters, but maybe there's a surprise waiting out there at 13 or 15.
The par 5s have been lengthened, and the wet fairways have just made them awfully long and difficult. Not many eagles have flown this week, that's for sure. Lenny Matisse looking at a wonderful chance at 13 right now, though.
Ricky Barnes coming in to 18. So Mark O'Meara's name go by. It's been a very solid week for Mark. And Jeff Maggard. Will have the honors over here at 11. And looking at those names, though, behind Weir, Matisse, and Maggard, there's 3 players without a major. Singh Coming on strong. He's got another look at birdie here. Mickelson needs to make something happen down there at 13. And here's Toms. This is a wonderful opportunity for him, Bobby.
Don't count him out. He knows what it takes to win a major championship. It's a difficult 8-footer. To 13.
Where Len Matisse has just watched his fellow competitor Jonathan Bird hole a putt 2 inches longer on the exact same line. This for Eagle to take the outright lead. Lenny Matisse, who struggled for 220 starts before winning his first PGA Championship title, has now just taken the lead. That's the first eagle today and only the third of the week at 13. Lenny Matisse on his way to posting a number. Let's go to 11.
And it caused Vijay Singh to back off his birdie putt. The roars reverberating through the trees. Back to back. Talk about another poker face, Jim Nantz. Maggard on the tee. That's just a moment ago. And that is ideal by Maggard. Getting a lot of run. And on the green, Toms for par. Smooth. But it's Vijay Singh who's opened up the second 9 birdie. And Lenny Matisse, who is 6 under par on his round today. And let's go to 14.
Matisse on the tee as the Sunday leader at the Masters. Catching that left to right slope just a bit, but still a good position for Matisse. Look at that first 9 out in 33 and 3 under on his second 9 so far to 11.
Mike Weir. Doesn't know it, but he's trailing by 1. And when you see him pick up the tee like that, you don't have to look. You know it's center cut. And Weir riding a lot of confidence with his swing and game today. And on the tee at 12. VJ 8 iron. It's an aggressive swing to a conservative place. And that'll be a tough up and in from there. Right line, but the wind's so calm right now. DJ wondering where it is. Shadows cast over the 12th green, and let's go to 13.
Where earlier Phil Mickelson 1 yard closer than Lenny Matisse had 223 to this hole. Just going with a long iron, taking it well out to the left toward the center of the green. And watch this. That's an experienced play here at 13. Everything funnels toward today's hole location. There is no reason to take dead aim at the flagstick. Phil Mickelson for eagle here at 13. Let's go back to 12.
And David Toms trails by 4, but Lanny, no time to go at this flag.
Not right now, Bobby. I just think it's still too early. Right over the middle of the bunker, try and get it on the putting surface. Both these gentlemen made the mistake of going long. If you make your mistake, you need to make it in the front bunker. Much easier shot from there.
Well, they're just fooled by the wind, Lanny. It's actually coming from behind them a little bit. They can't feel it down on the ground. We can feel it up in the tower. And the final pairing can feel it up on top of the 11th fairway. Maggart second. Should be nothing more than a light 7-iron for Maggart. And well done. All over the flag below the hole. That's the correct placement. That's a makeable putt from there. And Maggart's been rolling them in from everywhere the last 2 days. Remember, yesterday he birdied 5 of his last 6 holes to 13.
Jim Furyk's third shot had to lay up. Only 69 yards. And well played. So Jim Furyk has that left for birdie 4 at 13. Back to 11.
The second shot here today with the hole cut front left is more difficult for a left-hander than a right. If you come up right, you want to be short.
Bobby, this is where he made a big mistake yesterday, hitting it to the left.
He did, to 13.
For the eagle attempt of Phil Mickelson. Yep. Too much speed for the line that he chose. He'll be virtually assured of moving to -3, however, with his birdie here at 13. Back to 11.
And we're uncertain, trying to get rid of the memories from yesterday, but this is a much easier shot from 168. Well done. Well executed. Mission accomplished. But it's a difficult 20-footer. And BJ from the back bunker at 12. Oh, absolutely magical from there. 4 feet remaining for par for VJ. A hole that you feel so far removed from the events of the tournament because the patrons are some 150 yards away. And earlier, David Toms from more difficult place, downhill lie. And that was well done. Just to keep it dry. To 13.
This downhill putt for Jim Furyk now to get to -2 and within 4 of our leader, Len Matisse. He's been playing very solidly. To 14.
Matisse from 183.
Come on, Lenny. You're right.
And that will settle just over the ridge. And that was about a foot away from trickling back off the green. Matisse 9 under in his last 17 holes. He was 3 over for the Masters through 14 yesterday. He birdied 3 of his last 4 to get back to even.
Now at 13, Phil Mickelson for his birdie to get to -3. There's still a lot of golf to be played. And Mickelson with his length can attack these inward holes. Back to 12.
BJ for par. No. Oh, he pushed it ever so slightly. And a bogey 4 for VJ drops him back to -3. And thinking of the break there by Lenny Matisse at 14 and at 12. Reminiscent perhaps of Crenshaw in 95. Sometimes it's just fate and destiny. Maggart for birdie. Kicking himself. You can see it in his eyes. He's been rolling the tables. He expects to make every putt. It's 18.
And Ricky Barnes. This is a putt for par.
Left his second shot on the lower level, and then left his first putt about 6 feet short. Not a lot of movement in this. What an excellent tournament for Ricky Barnes.
The U.S. Amateur champion was actually second alone at one point in the third round. He played his first 2 rounds with Tiger and bettered him by 6. They both will be in the Butler cabin. Barnes to be recognized as low amateur. Tiger to present the green jacket to what will be a new champion this year as we go to 11.
Weir for birdie. Good line. Oh. Great putt. Bogey free for Mike Weir through 11 holes. He's gotten into trouble a few times, but his short game has rescued him wonderfully. His putter has been on the mark, and his swing appears to be getting better as the round goes on. I don't see any fold in him, Lanny.
Neither do I, Bobby. He's looked extremely solid in everything he's doing today.
He's a gutty performer. And a wry smile. Par at 11. Earlier at 12, Tom's trying to make par. So both Toms and Singh bogey the 12th. Patrons on their feet for Mike Weir and Jeff Maggart to 14.
Matisse for birdie to extend his lead to 2 shots. Trying to work it on down there very fast. And that was a nice effort. The biggest day of his career to this point came when he held a share of the lead at the 98 Players Championship on the 71st hole before taking an 8 on the par 3 island green at number 17. He birdied 18 to finish tied for 5th, but it was a very emotional day for him. His mother Joyce, who was battling inoperable lung cancer, followed him in a wheelchair the entire championship. She passed away later that year. Let's go back out to the 12th now.
Maggart backing away, 7-iron in hand. It's a lot of club. I guess he's trying to fade it in. Shallow divot. Conservative line. Too much club. Difficult play for Maggart, who likes to work the ball right to left. And where Mike Weir had the disadvantage at 11, at being a left-hander, he has the advantage here at 12. Because if he were to go right, it would go longer. So that expands his target a little bit. But it's still a most difficult shot. In the play here for Weir. with an 8-iron over the center of the middle bunker. That little island there, that's his line. Well, he caught a little heavy, but it's well to the left. And not the best of execution for him, but the proper place to miss it. Let's take a look at this majestic par 3 that has not changed in 50 years. Same length, same green, golden. Bridge commemorated to Ben Hogan after his record-setting performance, winning the Masters in 1953, 50 years ago. Quiet stroll. Mike Weir looking calm as a cucumber, but inside, I promise you, it's a different story. To 13.
Where VJ is in trouble now, hitting this second shot left-handed. He's trying to advance it out where he can put his third on the green, and he is now up in the pine straw to the right-hand side. So not much easier for VJ with that shot. Just taking a look at that. Now that's 2 left-handed shots we've seen by right-handed players in today's round. Just shows you what can happen here if you miss these fairways. This is no longer a bomber's golf course where you can hit it anywhere and recover. A complete examination of major championship golf. Len Matisse tapped in for his par at 14 as VJ walks up towards his third shot. Len Matisse with a 1-shot lead over Mike Weir, Maggart, Mickelson, and Singh all in pursuit. Let's go to 14.
Phil Mickelson, after a huge drive, perfectly placed, and 34 remaining. Could end up on the opposite side of the green if it keeps tracking down that slope. That was about a foot away from being brilliant. To 12.
Some 60 feet away. Mike Weir swooping left to right break. Well struck putt. Weir will have 4.5 feet coming back for par. To 15.
And hard enough to get the lead at the Masters on Sunday afternoon. Even harder to hang on to it. Len Matisse. And no one will be laying up from there. That's perfect. Back at 11. Beg your pardon, 12.
And Maggart's bunker shot. Impossible. It's wet. He'll have to go back to the other side of the water hazard. That's a regular water hazard. Keeping that point between him and the hole, unless there's any thought of trying to play it out of there. And that's what they're looking for, to see if the ball is totally submerged or not. It'll be a lonely walk for Maggard to 13.
VJ just pitching out on his third shot here at this par 5. And has it down in good shape to try and pitch and putt to save his par. On the green, Jose Maria Olazabal, who put his second shot in the hazard, had to go to the drop area. That was for a par, and he has a longer effort left for his bogey. Earlier, this was Tiger Woods for eagle after a brilliant shot from 215 yards that he had to hook probably 40 or 50 yards to hit the green. You think he's given up? I think not. A day when his game was not where he wanted it to be, but he fights all the way. Let's go back to Jeff Maggard at 12.
Looking for the drop. He can go to the drop box if he chooses to, or he can get a more closely mown lie, or he can take that point between him and the hole and go back as far as he'd like. Then he'll be playing from the second cut. Actually, it would be the first cut or second cut, his choice, but it'd still be longer grass. A lonely walk indeed to 14.
Mickelson's birdie try on its way. Gosh, a lovely read. Phil has to be wondering how much time he has. 3 back.
Well, Tiger made birdie at 13, 15, and this is the most important swing of Len Matisse's life. 219 yards and a clean, open look. Started it right at it, but he's nudging a little over. It's a good solid shot. Won't quite hold, but that's in good shape. On any other Sunday, a simple chip and putt birdie. But he is in the loneliest place in golf. In major championships, Len's best career finishes. Well, in the Masters, he missed the cut in '88. Tied for 24th in '97, the U.S. Open. We'll go back to 12 and see how Maggard's doing.
His 4th from the drop box. Oh my. Now he'll replay it again, hitting 6. Reminiscent of Dan Forsman many years ago, who hit 2 in the water here while in contention. So we'll have that for 7.
Man, what an odyssey it has been for Jeff Maggard. But how about some of these moments all surfacing in the final round? Hitting the lip, coming back, and hitting the body, leading to a triple. And it's going to be even far worse at 12. 2 in the water here. I couldn't believe the first time around after 3, Lanny, how he gathered himself.
Did an excellent job, and quite honestly, he's made really only about 2 bad swings all day, but boy, have they cost him.
And let's go back out to 12.
That's why they call number 12 the greatest par 3 perhaps in the world. And Maggard is buzzed at the moment. That for a quadruple bogey. After the triple bogey suffered at 3. Any hope of this Masters victory drenched here at Rays Creek with 2 in the water. An amen corner spewing venom as it has so oftentimes in Masters history. The coils of Rays Creek. And Lenny Matisse, a magical day at 15, on and 2, the par 5. And Lanny Watkins, he's a fellow Wake Forest grad. What was your time like, first time playing them in contention at the Masters?
Well, it was a lot later in my career than it was for Lenny, and he's having a heck of a day. I know, I tell you, Bobby, probably the most exciting time for me on this hole, I was playing my first Masters and got to walk across the Saracen Bridge playing with Gene Sarazen. What a special moment that was for me.
Maggard for 7. And a shell-shocked Maggard is just looking for somewhere to hide. 5 over par 8 at 12. And now the long wait for Mike Weir, who had to watch all of this. Certainly that doesn't play well into your psyche, Lanny Watkins.
Well, yes and no, Bobby. I think he can kind of stop and regroup, gather himself, get ready to go. Mike's very composed and very focused. I'm sure he feels sorry for Jeff at this point in time, but he knows that he's got a lot of business and a lot of things to take care of right now, and his focus is on this next putt.
And Mike has worked so hard with Richard Gordon, Utah State University, on his mental preparation and pre-shot routine. And certainly when you get into contention like this, you've got to stick with it. And don't let the pressure of the moment change a thing. A brilliant 2-putt for Mike Weir. Remains 1 back of Lenny Matisse. And heading to the par 5. Looking to be the first Canadian to ever win a major championship. To 13.
Where David Toms now. This is birdie attempt at the 13th hole. 1 under par. A co-winner of the par 3 competition on Wednesday with Padraig Harrington. And no one has ever done that and gone on to win the tournament the same week. Barring a miracle, it looks like that'll continue. And now earlier, Vijay Singh from the left side of the fairway, he had 61 yards, but he caught that heavy. He has that left for his par. Let's go to 15 first.
From just off the back edge, gently left to right all the way to the hole, and that one was right on line. Right now all he wants is 4. He'll move to 7 under. He wants to hang that number on the scoreboard and let them suffer.
David, good play taking the putter. Lenny is a wonderful putter, and I think at this point in time, when your nerves are really starting to get the better of you, take the putter. Don't risk a chip.
To 13.
And a man whose putter has not been his best friend this week, Vijay Singh, has this left for par. A disappointing bogey, dropping him to -2. Now back on the tee, Mike Weir. This is the hole yesterday where he had a real good look at the hole, but ended up with a bogey. And that's going to be right in an area where he's going to have to do some thinking. To 15.
And on the tee, Mickelson. Oh, that's enormous. Flies it onto the downslope. That'll be right around 190 yards to the hole. And the 3 here will give him a chance. Well, up on the green. And Matisse just being very careful about this one, maybe 15 inches. And he leads by 2. 3 holes to play. Not much of a smile. This is serious stuff from here on in. And he takes a quick glance up the hill. He sees Mickelson staring down. 3 birdies on the way out. See the rare birdie at 10.
And he has reached the tee at 16. As the patrons stand and acknowledge his accomplishment of the day. Much work to be done. But what a remarkable round for this 35-year-old who first played here as an amateur in 1988. And let's take a look at this and you can take advantage of a ridge that bisects this hole. Aim toward the center of the green. Watch the ball gather and use gravity. Len Matisse. 5 birdies and an eagle on Sunday at the Masters. Hole is playing its adult length, and he's chosen a 5-iron. 183 yards today. Very deliberate approach to the tee shot. Slight breeze from his right to left. This could be terrific. I'd say it is. One under in the par 3s. And let's go to 15.
And while Matisse was hitting, Mickelson just 189 yards. Has to make 3 here. Just hung this one out a little to the left. Well, he'll be a little disappointed with that, but you can bet the big left-hander will take a run at it from there. And the scoring in the par 5s, really not very many eagles at all this year. The flags have been extremely difficult. You can see really doesn't add up. Maybe the year 2000, pretty similar. Mickelson looking across right at the 16th green. He can see Matisse's ball. We'll go back to the previous par 5, the 13th, and what a beauty.
Well, where Mike Weir has a decision to make now. He has 193 yards left. The distance is not a problem. The overhanging tree limbs will affect his shot selection. And let's not forget he made 6 here yesterday. I suppose you can't be willing to expect to win it all if you don't risk it all. And this is a point where Lanny, he has to be 100% committed to what he's going to do.
I think so, Peter. And I think he's far enough around that the limbs overhanging are not as big a problem as we first thought. And plus, Mike's ball trajectory stays down a little bit, so he just needs to make sure this shot moves from his right to his left, get over in the fat part of the green, and have a reasonable putt at eagle and birdie for sure.
He has no reason to take that aim. The green will funnel the ball towards the hole if he can just put it in the center of the green. Well, he overcut it and he has put it back. It's on a downslope. This is going to be a touchy little chip shot for Mike Weir. That will be oh so fast coming back down toward the hole, but he avoided the hazard at least for now. There you see the ball on the downslope. Now that's going to be really difficult. It'll almost take away any chance of trying to hit a flop shot up there. Now to 15.
Well, everyone knows everyone's business around this corner. They heard the roar up on the next green. Furyk, an eagle 3. And he moves to 3 under par with 3 holes to play. Now, live, Mickelson with a must make. Gently up the hill, little left to right. Did he give it enough? Oh. That's the last thing I expected. Boy, that's a good 7 feet left. And he and Jim Mackay will take a look at this one very closely. Anything can happen over these next 3 holes. Still a vital putt. And the 16th green only some 115 yards away from here. Matisse and co. Mickelson and Furyk absolutely aware of what's going on. Jim Mackay with a final word. Really not much in this, maybe inside left. This to get to 4. Put him 3 back, but Matisse with a great chance on the next green. Beautiful. He's still there. And now he'll watch. Yep, a little furtive glance to the right, and this is what he sees.
Len Matisse to go to 8 under. Let me tell you about his demeanor. He was strolling to the 16th when Furyk made eagle. Len Matisse never looked back. He was standing over his putt when Phil Mickelson made 4. He never looked back. And he's now at 8 under par through the 16th hole.
Well, Mike Weir here at 13 has heard all of the roars. He doesn't quite know yet to whom to assign those roars, but he has his own problems. He selected to use a putter. And if this has too much speed going up and over the fringe, this could easily end up in the hazard. That's got some speed. That's got some speed. Safe enough. So he'll have that uphill putt for his birdie here at 13. Mike Weir has not changed one iota from Friday morning when he teed it up. He just looks the same. On the outside, you cannot see his concerns. You cannot see his stress. But I can assure you there are plenty on the inside. Let's go to 16.
Jim Furyk, 6-iron.
Go. Go. Get up. Get up there.
Now watch. And next up, Phil Mickelson, for whom 16 has brought grief. Had that duel with Tiger Woods 2 years ago, left it up on the ridge to the right, double bogeyed this hole yesterday morning in completing the second round. We go to 13.
Mike Weir now surveying his birdie attempt. The green completely covered with shadows, making it a little bit difficult to pick out the contours. Really not much break. It's a putt that's a little bit slower than the ones he's been facing the last few holes. To get within 2. Oh, what a marvelous up and down for Mike Weir. Just a tremendous birdie 4 at 13. He gets to -6. Jeff Maggart found the hazard with his second shot, but was able to play it out. That for his par. But now as Mike Weir moves toward the 14th tee, this is anything but over. To 16.
A moment ago, Mickelson, 7-iron, firing right at the flag. And just does go in to the rough, about an inch. Len Matisse, 8 under par. Mike Weir, 2 back. Mickelson in third again. Jose Maria Olazabal, Scott Verplank will be back next year. A final round of 69. Tiger Woods a double bogey at his third hole today. Got him out of rhythm. Things have not gone well since. He is at 2 over for the tournament. We go to 14.
And Mike Weir, who will not leave the conversation. 3 under today, 2 shots back. Look at those eyes. Fairway for Weir.
At 16, Phil Mickelson's problems made more difficult here because of his left-handed nature, trying to find a comfortable stance. In his quest for a green jacket at Augusta, 3 third-place finishes, including each of the past 2 years. And how ironic that here on the 70th hole of the event, he finds himself in 3rd place again. That may be too much. Now 15 feet, 4-3 to 17.
Well, we find Len Matisse has split the fairway. He's avoided the Eisenhower tree down the left. Finding the fairway allows him some options. The pin tucked just a couple of yards behind the front right bunker. And taking his time. 156 yards. Plenty of green beyond the cup, but very slippery putting from there. Don't go too far right. That's how he's leaning. Will run off the green. Very close to running off the green. There it comes. Really not a bad spot from where to chip or putt. Uphill, little into the grain. And challenging the low final round. He's had 6 birdies and an eagle, 8 under par. Needs 1 more birdie. Of course, making a birdie at that 18th hole, the lengthened 18th hole, that's going to be a challenge. This might have been his opportunity to break that last round record and tie the course record held by Greg Norman and Nick Price. Back to 16.
And Phil Mickelson. He's still got a chance. Deft touch above the hole for a 3. And Mickelson stays 4 back. Now Jim Furyk. Off the eagle at 15. This would give Jim a share of 3rd place. So quick. And a good 4 feet coming back up the hill. Let's go to 18.
This was earlier Ernie Els.
New pin placement here this year, Jim. This last round pin. Tough to get it up to the hole, sitting right near the crest of the hill.
Has not yielded a single birdie in the final round. This for par. You know what? Did he gut it out after 79 at the start, 66, the best second round score here this week. He's tied for, he's 6th alone now. So go back out to 16.
And Furyk for par. Three under for Jim Furyk. 2 holes remaining in the final round of the Masters. 3 under on today's round. Mickelson manages a 3. And we go to 17.
And Len Matisse deciding to use a putter. Quite a contrast in the speed of between the fringe and the putting surface. Any misstruck putt will really be grabbed by this fairway grass, laying against him, uphill all the way, and wasting no time. Wasting no time. Thank you very much. It's inside a foot. No worries there. Any other time playing in the Masters as an amateur in 1988. Played poorly, missed the cut. What a fantastic last round. Routine par. They didn't waste any time at all. Matisse was playing his putt. Mike Weir at 14th.
From 169. Oh, and this could catch the slope. We saw that happen to Mickelson earlier. Still moving. So cruel. And it took about 20 seconds or so for that ball to stop once it hit the green. Largest deficit overcome to win the Masters after 36, 1956. 8 shots. Jackie Burke and Matisse this week trailed by 9. And so it looks like someone will win their first major championship today. Matisse, Weir, Mickelson, or Furyk. 17.
Phil Mickelson on the tee. The tees move up to about 10 yards today. A very tight pin placement close to the bunker. The tees moved up, allowing the players to be aggressive off the tee. Then they have to make a decision. Do they challenge that hole placement, or do they play safe to the middle of the green? 425 yards uphill off the tee. So Phil Mickelson, 4 behind Len Matisse, a name that at the beginning of the day no one picked as a likely tournament winner, but he's played brilliantly. Olazabal was going along very steadily for a while. +1 today, even par for Olazabal. Top 16, and those tied for 16th place will qualify for next year's Masters tournament. Tiger Woods 3 over par today. Nick Price, a poor round. Brad Faxon recovered from a poor 3rd round. 70 today for him. And a little better for Sergio. Kevin Sutherland early in the day posting a 70. He made a birdie at the 17th. Let's go ahead to 18.
And Matisse on the tee.
The tee moves slightly up to date. Lenny's trying to take it right at the bunker and work it slightly from left to right. Oh, and he's found the pine straw. 3-wood might not have been a bad play there today. He's been driving it awfully well.
14.
Mike Weir on the other side of the green. Long try for birdie. And I would think Lanny's just trying to get this one close.
Down there, Bill, no question. You just cannot come up short on your second shot. We've seen it happen several times today, and where that ball ends up is just too difficult.
You're right. Still about 5-6 feet remaining for Weir. Trying to stay close enough with the par 5 ahead. Shared the 54-hole lead at the PGA Championship at Medina 4 years ago with Tiger. Shot that final round 80, but 3 weeks later won his first PGA Tour event. And what a wonderful scene that is at the 18th.
It's a scene Mark O'Meara is familiar with. He has this for the day's first birdie at 18. And to move into 8th. Oh, what a wonderful week. 46-year-old Mark O'Meara with his best performance in a major since finishing 4th at Sahalee in the '98 PGA. He went into Sahalee that year looking for a 3rd major on the season, having already claimed the green jacket and the British Open. Comes in at even par. 14.
Well, Mike Weir has only one 3-putt this week. He's been very precise from this distance. And this is to stay within 2. Yes. 6 under and on to the tee at the 15th. Ahead to 18.
And here comes Lenny Matisse, raised down on Long Island, New York, Mineola. 5 minutes from Bethpage. And the family moved to Florida in his teens, and he went on to win the Florida State High School Championship. On to your school, Lanny, Wake Forest, where along with Billy Andrade, they won the '86 National Championship as a team at Bermuda Run in Winston-Salem. Worked for a long time with the esteemed Jim McLean. Never won on tour until he was 34. It was last year, winning at Riviera and backing it up with a victory over the summer of '02 at Memphis. Lanny, this is with the 2-shot lead. What is the play here?
I think he's got to get it back out in safe territory, Jim. I think he's got too many trees to deal with here. And the one place, even if he was to take a run at this green, that he does not want it is this left front bunker. It's too long a bunker shot to deal with the amount of pressure he's facing right now. Get it back out on the fairway. Maybe get wedge in your hand. Get it up on the top level. Trust his putter. Putting's always been the strongest part of Lynn's game. He has really worked and developed his swing the last few years. Made himself a very complete player. Very meticulous player. Just played it out, and I still think that play off the tee today, Jim, was probably 3-wood. Just take it right at the bunkers with 3-wood. That makes the second bunker out of play.
He has not made a bogey, Lanny, since his 14th hole yesterday. It started, in fact, because he was 3 over through 36, so he began his 3rd round over on 10. Bogey number 5 on the way in. Has been a long, spectacular stretch. Who could have ever imagined it? Well, if he makes par here, the 64, you saw low rounds, final rounds in Masters history, but only one of those that you saw was a champion. That was Gary Player's 78. So Matisse could match Player's winning performance. Of course, Weir had something to say about that too, out at 15.
And he's setting up for a little draw. Good solid hit. Not over the moon with it. And that will require a little artistry, and you can see how that sat down in the second cut. That will make it very difficult for him to cut it enough to get it around those trees. Firethorn On the 15th hole, you'd better be birdie in this hole. You can see there the champions have birdied it more than half the time. We'll go to 18.
And the lead is 2 over Weir. He's 4 in front of Mickelson. For Mickelson to hang on to any chance here, Phil would have to go birdie birdie, and Matisse needs 6 here on the Phil angle. But Matisse has been, as Vern described so eloquently, he has really not paid attention to what anyone else is doing, just zoning it in, needing somehow to make par here for 64.
120 yards up the hill, probably a pitching wedge for Lenny. I think he needs to carry this all the way on top, Jim. I don't think he really wants to come up short here and then have a most difficult 2-putt for his 5. Even if he puts it over the green, I think it's better than being short.
Behind the hole. And
that's okay. That is a very level putt from there, not particularly quick.
A must for Phil at 17.
And he hit a huge drive from 120 yards. He was well past the cup, and this will slip away down the slope. Didn't take advantage of a superb drive. Back to 18.
You should have heard the reactions throughout the afternoon as Matisse and those numbers he's been posting have been left everybody here just a buzz. He's a great guy and a devoted family man. He was out here playing a practice round last weekend, and his father was walking around. Went out on the 15th hole. After belting a tee shot, he handed the driver over to his father and let him step on the tee and have the thrill of ripping a drive of his own at Augusta.
That's good stuff.
And back up the hill behind the pine trees there on the right of your screen. Mike Weir in the first cut, 221 yards, and look at that lie. That's Brennan Little stepping out of the way, and that looks like a short iron.
Hold still, please.
Now Weir has laid up famously earlier this year in the desert, the Bob Hope, from a place where he could easily have reached the green. Takes it right up and over those trees. And that's a shot of some 85 yards he has left. But this flag today is the easiest of the flag positions. And this third shot is no bowl of cherries here if you happen to lay up on that steep downslope there. And it looks to me like he's put that just about the right distance away, where you can get enough spin on it. See that the ball will be below his feet there, the left-hander. Slope coming from left to right as we look at it. And there he's got the deep part of the green to aim at. So one bounce and jerk it to a halt. That's what he'll be trying to do. The pride of Canada there with Brennan Little, fellow Canuck. And they are proud of him north of the 49th. He's a national hero there. We'll head up to 18.
Matisse taking a good hard look at this putt for par.
Just off the back edge of the green. Downhill the first half of the putt, right back at the hole. It goes slightly uphill. Should move from his right to his left. Hit it, Lenny. A little bit of nerves right there.
I bet a whole lot of nerves. I've got a little bit of nerves myself. Just imagining what he must be thinking.
It's hard to come into this surrounding and not get excited, Jim. I mean, you look at this big leaderboard and all of a sudden, look where I am.
He can only wonder what Weir is doing out there at 15.
And Weir can't take the approach that Lynn might make a mistake. He has got to be aggressive. He needs to be thinking birdie here, birdie 16, birdie 17. He cannot mess around. He must stay very, very aggressive.
I think David Faraday, 15.
Just a little over 90 yards. Trying to pick his spot out. Just right of the flag, maybe 15 or 20 feet short, one bounce, skid to halt. Struck it nicely. Oh, Canada! Mike Weir has given himself a huge chance here at 15. As yet unaware of what's going on at the 18th. But he'll know by the time he gets the 16th tee. And across the Saracen Bridge. That's a nice feeling. A lot of work to do yet. Day 18.
Boy, is he going to feel alone these final 3 holes. If Weir makes, well, that means Matisse has to make this for bogey and a tie.
Yeah, conceivably a 3-shot swing right here, Jim, and this putt is a must. I mean, you almost have to concede Mike his putt the way he's been rolling the ball, and Lynn needs to knock this in.
Get in the hole.
Well done, Lynn Matisse. What a round of golf he has played today.
A huge ovation for 65 by Lynn Matisse.
And for his first step onto this stage, Jim, this is some performance.
Just the one appearance here as an amateur back in '88. His first Masters visit as a professional. Man, is it a memorable one. That one you had to hold your breath, though. That final putt, there was a little begging going on by everyone. I wasn't so sure. If you please. Matisse post 7 under 281. And the patrons were right there with him, waiting. And Mike Weir will have everyone's attention for about the next 40 minutes as we go back out to 15.
And Jeff Maggart. This for birdie. And a little consolation. What a day for Jeff Maggart. Back into red figures and a brave fight. A couple of bizarre happenings today, hitting himself with his own ball. And this is an enormous putt. Not much in it. He's just inside left, and he has looked very, very solid all day. And he will not call Brennan Little in here unless he's unsure of what's going on. He reads most of his own. He's made up his mind. This to tie Matisse. Yes. 3 to play, and we have a tie. And both of these men just taking care of business. Len Matisse now with no further influence. Mike Weir, 3 holes to play. Everything to play for. Mike Weir laid up. He could have taken a go at it. Left himself 92 yards and struck this absolutely perfectly. Sweet. A great little technician and very, very clever. That's the one that tied it. And when he made the putt, is there a monitor somewhere? Maybe. To 16.
And David, those cheers echoed down from 18 when Matisse managed the bogey and went in reverse as Len Matisse acknowledged the birdie of Mike Weir. There's a huge scoreboard, but it's some distance away from Mike Weir. It's back to the left-hand side behind the 16th green. I think he's looking at it right now, but it's not an easy glimpse. A tie at the top. 32-year-old Mike Weir playing in his 4th consecutive Masters. 35-year-old Len Matisse playing in his 2nd, but the 2 appearances separated by 15 years. Had a bogey here yesterday that compounded his problems on the back 9 of the 3rd round. As you can see, an absence of wind. Hole cut back left. And here's Mike Weir with a 6-iron. Par in the 1st round, par in the 2nd. The just mentioned bogey in the 3rd. Center of the green. Now, will he get the roll to the left? Yes, he will.